All right, so we've got a lot more set photos that have been popping up from the Superman movie coming out next year. And, well, a lot of interesting things that really highlight some exciting aspects of the film that we know will be happening, but we get a few details on that. So, just as a side note, if you're not wanting to know anything about this film moving forward, of course, if you're clicking on something about set photos, you most likely are open to the idea of some spoilery kind of things. I don't think anything I'm about to show you is going to spoil the film, but you have the warning. We start off with what I want to just look at here is there is this medallion that popped up, and I thought it was very interesting because Action Committee of Metropolis 1938, a little Easter egg for the first comic book that came out for Superman back in 1938, Action Comics, Action Committee, Action Comics. What a lovely little throwback. And it just reminded me of how spoiled we actually are these days. I mean, we have so many films and all this kind of stuff, but to be a creative looking to tell a story on this scale, you can always appreciate all the details that so many people have worked towards putting behind the scenes, little things here in the background, and the design of everything. I think it's just always epic to remember. But I thought it was just a nice little nod to that first comic book of Superman. Then we go to what is people looking into the sky and watching some kind of event and then getting freaked out and running away. Most likely because there's some kind of body hurtling towards them. Most likely that of Superman's, based on the next photos I'm going to show you. But yeah, there's just this massive crowd. They're all watching. They're trying to pay attention to what's going on. And then there is the mass exodus as whatever it is that's happening isn't going well. What it seems like they've done here is they've literally dug a massive hole in the pavement. I don't know what kind of permits you need to get to be able to dig a massive hole in the middle of the city pavement, but you know, I'm sure they get around it with DC and their funding. But yeah, they've literally done that. They've dug a massive hole in it. In this photo, you can see people are freaking out because there's an explosion of some kind. Imagine from the impact from the smash into the ground that's happening. And that dude on the bicycle, definitely he's committing to this. But yeah, look, everyone's freaking out, running away. And then what we get is these photos of Superman with his uncomfortable face in the ground. So, and James Gunn there being like, well done, you look uncomfortable. So, not a happy day for Superman, it seems. There is some kind of crazy battle going on, and someone's just punched the hell out of him. Now, the kind of questions that pop up is who's strong enough to take on Superman in this capacity? Who's able to fly, first of all, and who's able to smash him to the ground? And like we spoke about, like, you know, Ultraman seems to be someone floating around as a potential option, but who knows, man? They could be redoing Zod again and he's a clone, or who knows what, right? There's a lot of theories going around the internet. At this point, we just don't know. All we know is that Superman's not going to be dominating everyone in this film. There's going to be an active threat that's going to be bashing him into the ground. Now, we can see a little bit more about when he gets out, and what's interesting about this is we looked at a few photos from when he was actually captured, which is this photo here. Superman's captured, and if you pay attention, right, he's obviously been captured by this Ultraman character and the engineer. If you pay attention to kind of his outfit there, he's not very dirty, he's pretty clean, doesn't look like he's been in any kind of battle. Now you go to this photo here, where he's come out of the rubble, and the dude doesn't look too good. He's covered in dust, and his face is all messed up. His hair still looks on point, which, as you can expect from Superman, it's a hair of steel. He's clearly been in the battle after he's captured. So we can only assume that if this is the same scene, it might not be. But if it is, that Superman's been captured, decided this is not for me, or decided I need to get out of this, and is going into a battle with these characters. But what I wanted to look at here again, and this has kind of been highlighted before, but the style choices clearly are creating this almost like a vintage feel, right? But this is in a modernish time. I really kind of am enjoying this feel because Superman does, like the original Superman harks back to this time. It definitely has a feel. And I like that it's a strong choice. If anything, you cannot say that James Gunn isn't making strong decisions. This is a particular feel for Metropolis. He's definitely making strong choices, and I can only appreciate that because the last thing we want is some generic, bland, same as we've seen retelling. of a story of Superman, which a lot of people have seen many times and constantly asking, why are we seeing Superman again? Why are we seeing Batman again? Why are we seeing Spider-Man again? Or, people love these characters. That's why, and they make money. But if you're going to take them on, make sure you take them on in a unique way. The next thing, though, is that there's this baseball field, which apparently is sponsored by Lord Tech. He seems to be a theme in all of this. They were doing some crane flying shots between two characters. Obviously, they're both able to fly, but what's interesting about this is whoever's doing the battling here, this is some serious face in the ground Goku versus Broly face smashing that's going on here. There's not going to be like punch, punch, punch. It's going to be Super Saiyan level battles. What it seems like from these videos. And they just continue. So over here we've got the engineer taking on Superman, smashing him into the ground and punching his face. Really not a great week for Superman. Then we've got it again with this buff Ultraman dude who's, they're obviously trying to create the sense that he's massive and weighty. He's running in a way that makes him feel gargantuan, tackling the heck out of Superman. And in the background here, we've got a shot of what appears to be Mr. Terrific having his flying gear. And what looks like the flying gear has been destroyed here by the engineer again, who is on a warpath. So she's clearly a formidable character. Not looking good for Mr. Terrific. It seems as though things aren't going well. And the thing I like about this is that Superman is always the character who's undefeatable. But comic books have explored that there's, based on his experience, based on his age, based on a lot of factors, if this is a young Superman, he may not yet be as powerful, potentially this take they're taking on it, as powerful as maybe later on. And so as a result, there are some real formidable characters who are able to defeat him or really give him a run for his money, which is what we really want to see. Like it's hard to tell a story about a character whose only vulnerability is kryptonite, because then it's always the kind of the same thing. Kryptonite every time. Someone's got a kryptonite ring or a kryptonite mace or a kryptonite spear or whatever. A kryptonite laced armored suit. I think it would be nice to see someone who's not using kryptonite to take on Superman and somehow be victorious to an extent. So what do you guys think about all this? I mean, there's clearly a massive battle happening. I don't know if there'll be a massive crowd watching at the time. I'm sure that will add some intensity to the scene in this baseball field. But what do you guys think about this? Are you excited to see how this battle plays out? Do you think Superman's going to be going toe-to-toe with some real potential enemies that can take him on? And who do you think's powerful enough to really take Superman on in a major way? Is anyone who can compete with him? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. It's always great having you guys here. Have a fantastic, wonderful, beautiful day.